Right now, deep inside your brain, your prefrontal cortex is thinning, losing tissue, cell by cell, while you sit here reading this, and the neurologists who map this decline admit they have no way to switch it off. This is the part of you that plans, that resists the donut, that holds your temper in a meeting you hate. It's your judgment, your willpower, your future self, all housed in a few inches of tissue right behind your forehead. And right now, it is quietly losing ground, not from age, not from injury, from something happening in your bloodstream this very second, something you cannot feel, something that never announces itself until the damage is already old. Scientists who study this call it cortical thinning. You'll just call it, waking up sharper at 25 than you do now and not knowing why. Here's the mechanism, and it's uglier than it sounds. Every time you're stressed, not traumatized, just stressed, the low simmering kind, deadlines, notifications, doom scrolling at 1 a.m., your body releases a hormone called cortisol. In small bursts, cortisol is fine. It's supposed to spike and fall. But modern life doesn't let it fall. It stays elevated, low, and constant for hours, for years. And cortisol receptors sit thick in your prefrontal cortex, waiting. When cortisol floods in and never leaves, those neurons start pulling back their own branches, actually retracting the dendrites they use to talk to each other. Picture a tree quietly shedding limbs in a storm that never ends. That's your prefrontal cortex right now, tonight, while you're scrolling instead of sleeping. And here's the part that should terrify you more than the mechanism itself. The neurologists who discovered this have no clean way to reverse it. They can show you the scans, thinner cortex in chronically stressed adults, measurable, undeniable, but ask them for a pill that regrows it and they go quiet. There isn't one. The pharmaceutical pipeline for this is nearly empty, which means the organ responsible for your self-control is degrading, and the people with the most letters after their name can only watch it happen and write papers about it. So naturally, everyone reaches for the same advice. Meditate more, breathe deeper, calm down. Here's the twist nobody wants to publish. For a specific subset of highly anxious people, still seated meditation, the kind where you sit and scan your body for tension, actually raises cortisol. Turning your attention inward without moving can trap you in the very rumination that's flooding your system in the first place. You sit still, hunting for calm, and instead you rehearse the threat. Some studies on relaxation-induced anxiety show this exact backfire. So if you've been trying to meditate your way out of this and feeling worse, that's not you failing at meditation. That's meditation done that specific way, feeding the fire. It gets worse before it gets better because cortisol doesn't only target your prefrontal cortex. It's got a second target sitting right next door, and that one governs memory, but we'll get to that. Because here's the rule. The one high performers, Olympic-level athletes, special forces operators, elite surgeons actually use, and it's not meditation, and it's not sleep hygiene, though both help at the margins. It's a molecule almost nobody outside a lab has heard of, irisin. Irisin is released by your muscles during vigorous movement, not a gentle walk, but genuinely intense, unfamiliar effort. And it crosses the blood-brain barrier and triggers a surge of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. The one compound your prefrontal cortex uses to regrow the exact dendrites cortisol just cut down. This is the rule: 6 minutes. 6 minutes of hard, novel physical effort, not your usual treadmill routine, something your body isn't bored by, is enough to trigger a measurable irisin spike. Elite performers who train under extreme cognitive load build this in deliberately, short, brutal bursts of unfamiliar movement, not as cardio, but as a chemical reset for exactly this kind of shrinkage. It's not about burning calories. It's about interrupting the retraction before it becomes permanent. So tonight, don't reach for your meditation app. Do something physically hard for 6 minutes: stairs, jumping jacks, sprints in place, anything your body hasn't adapted to yet so it can't go through the motions numbly. Do it before bed while the cortisol from today is still circulating so the irisin has something to counteract. That's it. That's the interruption nobody sells you a subscription for. But your prefrontal cortex was never shrinking alone. Right next to it, another structure has been losing ground this entire time, and what it's quietly erasing might be worse.